Hey guys, this is Nolan. I'm one of the interns at GreenvilleWesley, and I'm going to share with you my testimony and how my faith journey has grown since being here at ECU. So, just to give you guys a little bit of a background about me, is that growing up, I was part of a Baptist church. I went to this place called Grace Fellowship, and it met in a warehouse. And my dad would take us every Sunday and Wednesday and go for all the gatherings that we had to that church. There was one weekend my dad had decided to not go to church, and he had continued that for about 5 years. So there was about 5 years of my life that I didn't go to church. Um, and my mother saw this as not good parenting. She saw this as like we promised our kids growing while they grew up that we would raise them in the faith and the belief of Christ being our Savior. And so she took matters into her own hands, and she took us up the road to a Lutheran church called Holy Cross Lutheran Church. And it was there when I was in seventh grade that I got confirmed in the Lutheran faith, went through 2 years of confirmation, and then putting that confirmation into action. So we did like service projects and stuff like that. Fast forwarding to high school, I continued to go to that church, and that's still to this day my home church. And it was really then that I learned that service is something that I really, really enjoy doing for others. It was 10th grade, and we had civics and economics class. And one of the requirements for the course was that you had to do a service project, and you had to share that with the rest of the class. So I thought, why not a better place, or where not a better place to do that than church? So I went to my church and asked them what all could I do, and that's when I got started in helping on Wednesday nights with the Bible study, setting up for dinner. And I met a ton of people that were young and old, helping out with the Wednesday night setups. So Wednesday nights in high school is where it became most prominent for me to get involved on Wednesday, which kind of translates to like GreenvilleWesley on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays are now part of the thing that I do. I go to church twice a week. But kind of going forward to that, I graduated high school, and was still strong in my faith there. And a new challenge arose, which was college. And in college, it's something different. It's definitely different than high school. The people you meet are completely different. The atmosphere is completely different than what you would have in your home environment. So coming to college, I was a little worried, like, who would I find? Who where could I find it, and all of that be relative to me, and how will I find a group of people that are closely associated to what I believe. So when my dad and I went down the aisle, not down the aisle, but like down the aisle of religious groups, left and right side at the student rec center. This was back in 2017. We were doing Admitted Students Day, and there's this aisle of like religious groups, both left and right. You had people like Fuse, you had Rough, you had the Catholic campus ministry, but there was only one campus ministry that stood out to me, and that was GreenvilleWesley. And the reason being is I'm somewhat musically gifted, and they had advertised they had a praise band, and no other group had advertised that. So I had met Jeremy that day. I had also met, I believe, Taylor and Brianna that day, and that was the day that I had first expressed interest in a campus ministry. And going forth, Jeremy told me that, if you're interested in this, come meet us on a Sunday. We'd be more than glad to see, what you could offer. Sat down with him, and the first, hour or so, we just discussed, praise band stuff. But then it got into the question of, okay, I'm not a Methodist, I'm a Lutheran. Like, where do you guys differ from what I'm already confirmed and believing in? And Jeremy was more than excited to help me understand what it is that GreenvilleWesley was all about during that time, and what the Methodist belief is. So in that moment, I was just only going for praise band and just hoping to find a musical home. But in that minute, I also found a campus ministry home. So I'm glad that I was able to stick my foot in that door, and then it opened up so many other doors. Now, going onward to the next couple years here, I've had an amazing time with Greenville Wesley, and the amount that my faith has grown has been tremendous. Coming into college, you can be very weary of what it is that you're here for, what it is that you hope to accomplish, and what it is that you fear that you may not be able to accomplish, or what temptations may lie ahead. And a lot of that has to do with, you know, you're by yourself, you make your own decisions, and every action has a consequence. But being involved at Greenville Wesley has kept me a straight arrow and the straight and narrow of what I need to do, and it has helped me in that aspect of just keeping me organized, keeping me true to myself, not trying to fit in with other people, because I found a group of people who would align themselves with me. I didn't have to align myself with them. And that's another huge benefit of being a part of Greenville Wesley. And going back to like the service project stuff, I really did enjoy going on the mission trips that we did. We've gone and worked with Habitat for Humanity. We've gone and worked with Tim Fitch out at the Outer Banks, and we got to do some awesome mission work out there. We were going to do some mission work last year, but that got canceled because of coronavirus. But I mean, it's okay. You know, we're all here, and we're still coming, and you know, still ready to serve in any way possible. But aside to that, there was something that I had said to one of my small groups that I was a part of last year, last semester. I had told my one good friend in that group, said, you know, there's something that is bothering me, and the fact is that I feel like I'm a complacent Christian. And basically what that's meaning is like, I feel like my faith isn't growing. I feel that my, you know, I'm not getting involved as much as I need to. I feel that, you know, as a Christian, you should always try to further yourself and want to grow closer to God. And last year I was just in this happy place. You know, I had great friends, had good things going for me, nothing out of the ordinary, and it was just all good and happy trails. But like that did not suffice me, and I had told my friend, I said, you know, I wish God would challenge me. I wish He would do something for me, do something to help me grow stronger, because right now it's just too easy being a Christian, and some people would probably look at you funny. But little did I know what I asked for, because what you ask for is what you get. Ask and you shall receive. And that's when there's this big old slippery slope that came in, and that was coronavirus. That was my mom getting cancer. That was this year not being able to be a part of the marching band. That was the possibility of me not even getting to be on campus for my last year. Just so many things have happened, but there's also a ton of good things that God has put in my life. He's given me the opportunity to lead you guys and help facilitate you all to become leaders in Greenville Wesley. He has given me another year with my dog, which is getting to be as old as dirt, but she is my best friend. I'm glad she has not gone. He has given me numerous friends who have still been able to stick around. He's given me more confidence to talk to people and to branch out and become more extroverted than when I started, because I was very quiet my first year. So I'm noticing so many things that He has given me, even in the midst of stuff that is really hard to sift through, because there's just so much negativity going around. But when I asked God for this challenge, He gave me this challenge, and right now I'm still in the middle of it, and I still face feelings of hardship, but I know that He's got it, and as long as I am trying to seek Him, He will make things good for me. And that really shows how I am God's beloved. And that's something that we're really harping this year, you know. It's that is our thing that we want to get across to you guys, is that even though you have stuff said about you, even though you may not have or have something that people say you have or don't have, or what you do or what you don't do, like, all aside, that doesn't mean anything to God, because He is the person who's loved you first ever since you were, even before you were thought. He has loved you, and He is going to look after you. So even though, you know, we're experiencing a time of great solitude and uncertainty and just solemn despair, like there are good things, and you have to look for those, because if you get caught up in the negativity, you can't see the positive stuff that is going around. Just a moment ago, I was eating lunch and I heard these two girls behind me, and I was kind of upset about what they were talking about. Not as an offensive thing, more or less, but just the fact that they've had a bad experience of talking to a Christian or several Christians. They were talking about how Christians, they don't know how to properly answer questions like, why does God do bad things? You know, why are they answering the way that they do things? And I can't give it a definitive answer, but I would say it's because those people have not branched out far enough in their faith to really try to answer those, other than using the backhanded comment of like, you know, God's got this, it's in his plan. Like, those could probably be true answers, but to some people that's not going to answer what it is that they want to hear. What I would say to those people is, who is the one that blesses us and graces us with another day to breathe and to live? That would be God. Who is the person that puts things in our lives and lines it up? Who is the person who can also take away all those things? And all of that is God. So whenever there is a challenge for it to be had, whether you ask for it, whether you not ask for it, it is all part of God wanting you to strengthen your faith. And faith is a journey. We all have to start somewhere. So for me, it started, you know, rough, but it got better. And then it stayed good for a very long time. And then I asked for something to challenge me. And here I am now, my senior year in college. A lot of bad things are going on, but a lot of good things are also going on. So just being conscientious that you are God's beloved, and that your faith is something that can be improved upon, something that you can strive to try to grow closer to Christ. Those are the things that, you know, I would testify to as being defining moments, at least in my life. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope this has touched your heart in some way, shape, or form.